Hey guys, it's your friend Tisha here, Chef Tisha, and welcome to another episode of Tisha's Table. Today we are going to dive into Greek meatballs, also known as Keftedes. I personally love Greek Mediterranean food, and this is going to kind of highlight all the flavors of Greece. It's going to be my take on it, so let's get ready to cook. Okay, so we are going to make keftedes, but before I do that, we're going to serve them on a bed of couscous. And this is the finished product of what couscous looks like. But this is what it looks like dry. It's giving grain, but it's not a grain. It's really a pasta, really tiny, small pasta. And the great thing about this is that it cooks quickly, cooks super fast. You get a cup of couscous, you get a bowl, cover it with super hot boiling water, cover it with plastic, let it sit for about 5 or 10 minutes, and then you kind of get this. So this is what we're going to use to have our landing pad for our couscous. So I'll put this here. I'll put this here. Let's talk about what's going to go inside of the keftedes. So I got my small little food processor. If you don't have one of these, totally fine. Just get your knife and chop everything pretty fine, because we don't want big chunks in the meatballs, because then they'll start falling out. So I'll tell you what I have. Going in, I've got some flat leaf parsley, also known as Italian parsley. So we're going to put this in here. And then Greek Mediterranean food, usually they love to cook with red onion. So we're going to add the red onion to this. Okay. Everybody in the pool, everybody in the pool. Another key ingredient in Greek cooking is mint. It's kind of got a little, well, you know what mint tastes like, but when it's in savory dishes, it gives it like an extra punch, which I love. So in with the mint. You don't need a lot, maybe 1 or 2 leaves, and that's it. And so, of course, feta. Feta makes everything better, in my opinion. It's also a little bit salty. So as we salt the meat, we can kind of minimize that a little bit, because the feta is a little bit salty. And so are the little Kalamata olives. So everybody in the pool, garlic. I mean, what Greek dish does not have garlic in it? So in we go. Pitted Kalamata olives, make sure they are pitted. You do not want to put this in your food processor with pits. So everybody in the pool, I'm going to give this a whirl. It's not going to be super fine, but it's going to be small enough where I'm able to kind of put it and incorporate it into the meat. So my little trusty handheld food processor. Shake it down a little bit. I don't want it too processed, but just enough. So that's what that looks like. And then we're going to add it to the meat. So I've got 80-20 meat, which means it's 20% fat. I'm sorry, 80% fat, 20% lean. So we're going to add all these lovely ingredients to the meat. You can also use lamb. Lamb is traditional. Americans, we are not into lamb just yet. My family loves it, but today we're going to just use the regular ground beef, 80-20. So in with that. I also have some spices here. I've got some pepper. I've got some kosher salt. You can also use sea salt. Definitely try to stay away from that iodine salt. Kosher salt or sea salt is the way to go. I've got some onion powder here, and I've got some paprika. So everybody is going in. And again, kind of easy on the salt, because the feta is a little bit salty, and so are the Kalamata olives. I've got some panko breadcrumbs here, Japanese breadcrumbs here. I would not use traditional, like Italian breadcrumbs. It'll make the meatball a little bit too tough, and you don't want that. And then I've got 1 chicken egg, which I'm going to actually break it in here, because I want to make sure that it's good. The worst thing you can do is put an egg in something and it's not good. So 1 chicken egg in here. And then we're just going to mix it up and make the meatballs. Honestly, I'm going to use my hands. I'm going to get this started with this, but I'm going to use my hands. And then we'll just form these into meatballs. Use your hands, people. This would be a great project for your kids because, of course, kids like to be messy. And this is going to be a good like sensory thing with your children. So get your kids in the kitchen. They can do this part and help you make the meatballs and squish this all together. All right. Try to get this all together as much as I can. Now, in my research, while I was, kind of figuring out what keftedes look like, what goes in it, they kind of shaped them like in almost like a tube shape versus a round, traditional like Italian meatball. And so let's see if we can do that. All right, so I'm all mixed up here. I have a little landing pad. You can use a little scoop if you want to, but I'm just gonna go ahead and just kind of eyeball it. So you can make a traditional meatball if you like, kind of big, which looks like that, totally fine. Or you can kind of shape this into like kind of like an oblong shape. I don't even know what the shape is called. I have no idea. We're gonna kind of shape it that way. I've also seen these skewered, so they're making the meatballs this shape and they're putting them on skewers. Great for the grill if you want to. Today we're gonna have them on the just on the skillet. All right, so we'll be right back as I finish these meatballs and then I'll brown them off and show you what it looks like. Okay guys, we've got our keftedes shaped up. I'm starting to brown them. I cooked these on high heat because you definitely need to get them brown on either side. We want that nice crust, as you can see it like right here. Nice crust on either side. You're gonna cook these for maybe like 3 minutes, 2-3 minutes per side. You don't want to overcook them. It is beef, so it's okay if it's a little undercooked. Some people like it well done, and you could do like maybe 3 minutes on each side. It's totally fine. But what we're looking for is we want that crust. So I've turned most of them already. I'm gonna go ahead and turn these. I'm using a little offset spatula. You can also use a little fish turner too, and I can show you what that looks like. But you just want something that's gonna be able to be gentle. Like you don't wanna use tongs on that, right? We're gonna just turn these over. It's got a nice little crust. I'm so excited. So that's what these look like. We're gonna finish cooking these up and then we're gonna plate them on our couscous that we talked about earlier. And then I've got a nice little sauce and a nice little garnish, and then we'll be ready to eat. Okay guys, our keftedes are done. They look lovely. This is the finished product, or almost finished product. We're gonna kind of dress it with a little sauce. You can definitely use a tzatziki sauce, which is it's Greek yogurt, dill, some spices, garlic, of course, Greek with the spices and the garlic. But today I'm not doing that. I've got a nice little tahini sauce that's gonna get drizzled over. So we're just gonna do it. Drizzle, drizzle, drizzle. Make it look pretty. These are really good if you're feeding a lot of people because you can prep these keftedes ahead of time. You can make them, put them in the fridge, and then when they're ready to cook, you could just do it and then kind of have a nice big platter of them. And then of course we always have to garnish with something. You could use mint, but we're not using mint. I'm gonna use my little parsley. I like to rip it. You could cut it if you want to, but it's kind of a rustic dish, so we're just gonna kind of sprinkle over top. Just kind of rip it. make it look nice, presentable. We eat with our eyes, of course. So we want it to be tasty, but we also want it to be beautiful. And that is our Greek meatballs. This is my take on Keftedes Greek meatballs. I hope you try it, you guys. It's delicious. Feed your family. Tag me if you make this. Tag me so I can see your finished product. Thank you for watching. I'll see you on our next episode.